Okay, so there is a very specific word or phrase or whatever you want to call it that has been talked about for like a long time. First heard, in the whole tarot community. So let's talk about exactly what exactly is the divine feminine. Like, what exactly is the divine feminine? Okay, what exactly is the divine feminine? And if you don't know, I like to do clean pulls, so I don't do all that cards falling out. I like to know that my reading is genuine, so I do clean pulls, okay? So let's see, what exactly is a divine feminine? Because it's like we learn these terms or we hear these terms and we run with it and we run with it. And it's like, I mean, that's cool and everything, but why do we do that? Why do we do that as a collective? Why do we run with these terms and then everybody start thinking it applies to them? So let's see, what exactly is a divine feminine? What I love is that the Empress is at the bottom of the deck. Okay, we have the King of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, the Page of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, the Hierophant. Okay, so we got a major. So right away, I feel like, what a divine feminine is. I like that the king and queen both came out together because this shows that a divine feminine could actually be a male or female gender, okay? Because we get like hung up on these terms and then we like think it can't be both genders. Just like men and women can be both feminine or masculine, same thing with a divine feminine, it could be a male or a female, but it's basically a person, okay? A person who is compassionate consistently. They're consistently showing compassion, generosity, and courtesy to others on a general level. Like they're just naturally a compassionate and considerate person. Okay, they naturally have compassion for the next person. All right, no matter what it is they got going on, they have natural compassion for others, and they always consider how others are going to be treated or how they are going to feel based on what they say or do. Okay, and then you have the Three of Cups and Page of Swords. So a divine feminine usually, again, have, a very considerate mindset, and they think from a place of like, how would this person feel if I did this? Like they really consider how their actions and words could affect other people. And they usually, they see other people as like part of them as well. But with the Page of Swords, after the Three of Cups, this is also like, for the most part, they're pretty like innocent when they initiate conversation and stuff like that. There's a nice uh generosity to a divine feminine. Just being a divine feminine is just about, having natural compassion for others and being considerate when you when you speak and do things, and just being able to connect, with people and coexist with people, even if they're different from you. Just being able to coexist, being able to be part of a team as well. All right, I like how it's Two of Pentacles and Three of Pentacles because it goes to show like you know how to be a part of a team, just like you know how to do things and handle things yourself. The Two of Pentacles means you're handling it yourself, but you know how to delegate or just be a part of a team, and you know and not feel like you have to do things on your own all the time. Hierophant. So it's basically someone that's integral. So I feel like that's in a nutshell. But I would just go ahead and pull some more cards just to see what else we can get because I love seeing like the actual story as well. So we have the Justice card. Yeah. So being divine feminine means, just treating people how you want to be treated, being true, being integral, being honest, being a genuine person. It's not as like fluffy as the term sound, which is actually a good thing because like I said, we hear these terms that we never heard before and we run with it, and then we start just feeling like you know, we kind of come to our own assumptions in a way. I don't know if nobody ever done this type of reading before, like exactly what a divine feminine is, but you know, I know people like use the term in a fluffy lover girl type of way or whatever. But let's see. So after the Justice card, we have the Ten of Pentacles, okay, and the Devil card, okay. And of course, we got to start looking at the Devil card as like technical Six of Cups, because sometimes it could be like Ace of Wands, okay. Yeah, so Divine Feminine definitely have like a huge appetite as well. Like Divine Feminine energy, they may have a huge like sexual appetite. I feel like that's what the Devil, Six of Cups, Ace of Wands is. Like they're very passionate people, and they can translate to being like creative, and it can also translate to being, you know, sexual in nature. But it can just definitely be like having extreme, you know, passion. Like their energy, they just have a natural passionate energy. All right, and then we have the Five of Wands, the Lovers, the Two of Cups, and the Sun card. Yeah, so I like how a lot of, you know, the perfect cards that we seek in certain readings are coming out, because it kind of just, you know, it's really emphasizing how a divine feminine is basically an integral, honest person for the most part. They do have like very strong desires and passions, but overall they're good people, and they truly pay attention to like, and I like how a lot of twos and threes is coming out too, because 2 and 3 energy is personal, and it means that you're paying attention to the detail, and you're not looking at the collective as a whole. You're looking at people from a person by person basis, and that's how you're approaching life and people as well. You focus on people. You don't just cluster people up. Like you connect with people in a one-on-one type of way, and you truly pay attention to like direct interaction and stuff like that. You don't like overlook details. You're grounded. You're grounded and centered in the actual moment and what's currently happening, you know. So I like that those cards is coming out. Two of Wands is coming out after the Sun. So yeah, more two energy. 7 of Cups and the Four of Swords. Yeah. So divine feminine energy is very passionate, and sometimes that passion can lead them to, you know, taking action and connecting with people based on like how someone makes them feel, and sometimes that might lead them astray. That's what that Two of Wands, 7 of Cups, and Four of Swords is about. Sometimes that feeling that they might hone in on can lead them astray, but overall a divine feminine is a considerate person that shows compassion and courtesy to people as a whole. They know how to handle things themselves, but they definitely know how to be a team too. It is just not up to them like how other people act. Like some people feel like they can't work in a team, you know, comfortably because of weird stuff like competition and stuff like that. But a divine feminine person, like they could put the petty stuff aside and just, you know, really treat everybody with like respect and courtesy and stuff like that. But of course, like, do we always get that in return as a divine feminine? I don't know. If, I'm not saying me. I'm just saying like I'm kind of talking for them and stuff like that. Like, you know, you could be this courteous person, but you're not going to always get that back from people, because some people just not operating out of that same energy. Some people operating from, you know, fire. Some people are operating from all types of, you know, so it's like, but I like what a divine feminine is. That's a very beautiful energy. All right. So that's the reading for that. If you guys have anybody you want me to do a reading about, feel free to comment below. I'll check it out and we can make it happen. All right.